With a second stimulus deal very close, you could receive your funds in less than 7 days. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoon's LALATE. Hope your day is going great. This is our 2-hour programming block every afternoon starting at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, starting with the check, going to hazard pay 30 minutes later, after that FPUC, and finally rent assistance. This video is about the check with really shockingly great news overnight about how fast could you see the funds. People have been saying, LALATE, how soon am I going to get my money? Well, here we go. Steve Mnuchin, who's the Treasury Secretary to Donald Trump, did that whole spree of interviews on Sunday. But after one of the interviews, when leaving the interview, I can't remember if it was Fox or CNN, he was asked by a news reporter, Mr. Mnuchin, how soon could people see their second stimulus check funds? He said, we have it teed up much faster. So this time around, you could see your second stimulus funds within 7 days after the bill is passed. This is incredible news. This is incredible news. As we have been reporting since last Friday, the deal is close. We are literally on the cusp of the second stimulus package being approved. And the moment that that bill is approved, Mnuchin is representing, you could receive those funds electronically within 7 days. So, for example, if the deal is done this Friday and becomes law this Friday, Mnuchin is representing that you could see the funds the following Friday, a week from this Friday. Now, who would qualify for this incredible fast turnaround, and why is it so fast? First, Mnuchin represents what we have been talking about, but not directly for Mnuchin for several weeks, that the IRS has ramped up their computer systems. They have learned how to do it faster this time around than the first stimulus package. This is also great news. We had told you that the IRS was preparing themselves to do a fast send out of the checks for the second round, faster than the first round. Second, he also says the president is on board to do electronic delivery whenever possible. Third, and this is also great news, he says that both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans, propose for direct cash payments of $1,200 wherever possible. This is also really great news. So who would be teed up for this quick delivery? Well, the also great news is that, as most of the viewers of this channel, if you are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits, and receive your payments monthly by either direct deposit or debit card, electronic means, then you would qualify for this fast delivery. Next, if you have at any time provided your bank account information to the IRS, either for the first stimulus check or for purposes of just your tax returns, you also are teed up for this fast turnaround. Anyone else that has in some regards ever given the IRS a bank account and a bank routing number and said, hey, this is how we're going to communicate electronically for funds, you also qualify. So apparently everyone wants these funds to go out incredibly fast. The next group that would be after that would people who do things by paper check still. So if you receive your SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits by paper check, you would be mid to late August. And if you're just a normal tax-paying adult or tax-paying citizen, you would also, and do everything by paper check, yours would come a little bit later. If you didn't see the news we've been reporting since Friday and you're new to this channel, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe. We're adding about 10,000 new subscribers every day. Yesterday, we passed 130,000 subscribers in 100 days of this channel. No one in the history of YouTube has ever done that, so please subscribe. On Friday, we reported several news reports saying that a second stimulus check deal is imminent. This morning we started with mornings with LALATE with another report confirming the same. We're up to like 4 reports that basically all say the same. The latest round was the head of Morgan Stanley, one of the biggest banks in the United States, says the deal is just around the corner, folks. It's just a few days away. All this gibberish of people battling on Sunday morning news is just gibberish. Ignore it. The deal is imminent. So what's going to be in the deal? How much you're going to get? And what are the other provisions you need to understand before I get to this afternoon's other videos? First, it is likely that the $1,200 amount will be passed off to all recipients. So the Republicans' proposal of that ridiculous $500 for dependents appears to not be floating to the surface, appears to be sinking very quickly. The Republicans reportedly have backed off of that and are allegedly agreeing to $1,200 for everyone. $1,200 for non-dependents, $1,200 for minor dependents, $1,200 for adult dependents, $1,200 for people on any type of benefits, $1,200 for everyone. There's only 2 types of people who don't qualify for a stimulus check, and those are people who made a buttload of money last year, a lot of money, and you didn't get qualified for a first stimulus check as well. And second, anyone who is a dependent, more than 3 dependents on someone else's tax return. If there are 4 dependents on one person's tax return, that is likely not going to happen as well. Yesterday and this morning, I went over the issue of child support. I don't know where that's going to land. The current situation is the Democrats propose that your stimulus check cannot be taken for child support. The Republicans propose it can be taken. It's likely that the Democrats' proposal is going to be the one. Next, hazard pay. What's really quite interesting about hazard pay is that there's been no opposition to hazard pay. There's been no vocalized negative remarks from the White House, Mitch McConnell, Steve Mnuchin, anyone that's involved in the negotiations of hazard pay. That's likely to be approved. I'm going to do what I promised for you in the next video coming up at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today. I'm going to go over who are the essential workers in hazard pay, who qualifies for essential pay. You've asked for that video, and it's going to be incredibly detailed. So please join me for that. That's right after this one. After that, FPUC. Boy, I have a big update for FPUC. I'm going to tell it to you right now. I'm not even going to hold it to the video on the third video an hour from now, which I'm going to go into detail then. But I'm going to tell you the bombshell minutes ago. We now sort of know where FPUC is likely to land. It's likely to land at about $600 per week until unemployment improves. Here's the rub. I sort of love this part of the story, and I hope you do too. We know that the Republicans came into that as saying $200 a week, that no one's supporting. Republicans are not supporting Republican people in states, are not supporting swing states, are not supporting other senators who are Republican, no one's supporting the $200 a week. I had told you last week that had the Republicans come in at like $500 a week or $400 a week, we would have had, a more closer scope of negotiations because the number is sort of close to $600 a week. In fact, Jim Cramer on CNBC this morning said, hey, had they come in at a better number, everyone would have been taking them seriously, but $200 is a joke. Well, Nancy Pelosi all last week and until this morning, minutes ago, said it's $600 until January 2021, and we're not negotiating. She has made it very clear. And I had always told you, and I've been telling you since Friday, it's going to land at $600 a week. That's going to be what the rule is because of 2 other factors. One, the president has literally tweeted, I'm in support of $600 a week. 2, the Republican negotiators for the stimulus package, Mark Meadows, who's chief of staff to Donald Trump, and Steve Mnuchin, who's the Treasury Secretary, have both offered in the last 24 hours $600 a week. They've offered what the Democrats are proposing, but they've offered it for 1 week, which is sort of ridiculous. I mean, who offers something for 1 week? I mean, it was, okay, how about next week? What are we going to do next week? Well, Nancy Pelosi basically, I guess you would say, slipped and explained to news what is really sort of the battleground. The battleground is the economic data. So she said that when asked about FPUC minutes ago, listen carefully to this quote, I love this quote, as the unemployment goes down, the number can go down. Aha! So this apparently is what Steve Mnuchin is arguing about. And it's a good argument. I can concede that's a great argument. He's saying, okay, you want to give $600 a week now where unemployment numbers are really bad. I can do that. But how about when unemployment numbers improve, Nancy? What are we to do then? She basically said, we can get off of the $600 if the unemployment numbers are better. But they're not better now. So that's the rub. I mean, I find this, I just love this part of the story. She had said, as to the current situation, as to this week, to describe what the Republicans are doing, is a building is on fire and they're deciding how much water they want to have in that bucket. I love the quote. I mean, she's basically saying everyone's unemployed. The fire is unemployment across the country. The fire is people can't pay their bills. The fire is that there's no jobs. That's the fire. And you have these Republicans on the side, Steve Mnuchin and Mitch and Mark Meadows saying, I got some water, but let me give a little bit of water. Let me give some of the water. When the water is free, there's no problem about getting extra water. There's no problem about using 3 buckets. He wants to use 2 buckets instead of 6 buckets of water. She has a really great point to it. But Steve Mnuchin, now we realize, is saying, hey, once the fire is out and we just have embers, what are you going to do, Nancy? Are you still going to be throwing 6 buckets of water on top of it? And she basically said, no, Steve, I can pull back on that number. So where does this land? This is my prediction, and this is what seems to be the case. First of all, I've told you that it's not going to be $200 a week. It's just not going to be $200 a week for next week or for a few weeks. Second, it's not going to be $200 a week for a few months. It's going to be $600 a week for several weeks. How long is the $600 a week is where they're negotiating. And now we know that it's tied to the unemployment number. So the unemployment number, as you've been watching on my videos every Thursday, new jobless claims, how many new people are unemployed comes out every Thursday. And it's at over 1 million people every week, the 19th consecutive week, the worst number since the Great Depression. Okay, so Steve Mnuchin is basically saying, okay, when that number disappears, when we finally get out of this, are you still going to be giving $600 a week? And Nancy says, no, I don't have to give $600 a week if we don't have over 1 million new unemployment claims. If there's jobs and people are back to work, we don't have to give $600 a week. We now see where it's going. That is the next bit. When are these people meeting again? And are we invited to the meeting as the chicken or fish? Nancy Pelosi says, well, let's see when we meet today. They're meeting today. It's absolutely essential that we reach an agreement, which is also really great news. I love that because Nancy said Friday or Thursday that when you come to negotiating, you have to be willing to walk. And that sort of comment made me a little nervous because I thought to myself, does she mean she's going to walk from an agreement and we're all going to go home and there's going to be no agreement? So for now to her to say, we're going to reach an agreement and we're going to battle to the ground till we get an agreement, I love that. And that's basically what I've been reporting since Friday, that there's going to be an agreement, the agreement's imminent, and that you're going to get the check. Now, what's holding up the check and the agreement, LLA? What's going on? Why can't these people get their acts together? Do they need a pack of crayons? Give them some parchment paper? Do they need a peachy to help them, these bunch of children? What's going on with these children? The battleground appears to be a series of parts of the second stimulus package that is just sort of ridiculous. They should never have been in there. And apparently now there's a big argument about why they were ever in there, and they're trying to get them out of them. And these are generally things from the Republicans. First, that insane $3 billion federal building, FBI building. I mean, it's just, I'm not going to go into detail. Everyone knows it shouldn't be in this package. It needs to be out. Second, there is a real battleground about money going to states. I don't have the quote in front of me. It's on another one of my notes. But Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin basically admitted that this was a battleground, that she wants more money given to states so they can disperse it to their citizens for things like eviction and grant and homelessness and things like that. And the Republicans want to give money, but they haven't allocated enough money, and it's tied to certain things. It's a little complicated. I'm not going to go into this. I don't want to put you to sleep. But she's basically saying, give them more money. Give these states more money. And so that's also battleground. The next item of battleground is that stupid Mitch McConnell, the Mitch provision. The Kentucky Fried Chicken clause. I shouldn't even, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, KFC. I shouldn't invoke you because you're a wonderful company, and he's just a hot mess. The fried chicken clause. This is the guy that wants that ridiculous provision in there that you can't sue employers unless they intentionally cause COVID-19 if you contract COVID-19 on the job. Hello, no one's going to ever buy that stupid provision. It's a ridiculous provision, and he says that the whole thing is going to be tied up unless he gets his way or not. How about How about sending the guy out for lunch and then getting a vote done while he's out to lunch, and then he comes back and says, "We're done. Sorry, Mitch, we didn't need you." Yeah, I mean, that's really how they should do it at this point. Bottom line is great news for you. I've had a couple questions which I'm going to answer very quickly. People have said, will the second stimulus check come with your first stimulus check if you haven't gotten it? No. If you haven't gotten your first stimulus check, there are reasons why you may not have gotten it for your first stimulus check. Either one, you were not eligible, or two, it's on its way. The first stimulus check was only allocated, eligibility was only delegated to people who were minor dependents. So if you were a dependent on someone else's tax return, you were not eligible for a first stimulus check. This time around, that's solved. You're getting a stimulus check. I mean, really great news. Next, a lot of you are still en route to receiving your first stimulus check. It's coming, but it's not coming with this. They're not coming together. Next, a lot of people ask me about FPUC. I know this is not an FPUC video, but I'm going to just answer right here. What about those missed weeks of FPUC? Am I going to get those, LLA? What's going to happen? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's likely, but I really don't know where those negotiations are going to land. It's sort of like I don't know where child support is going to land. Finally, some people had questions about back taxes, state and federal taxes. Yes, under the first stimulus package, your stimulus check could be taken by the IRS or your state franchise tax board if you're behind on taxes. The second time around, I don't know what's going to happen. The Democrat proposal says, no, we're not going to allow that to happen. I don't know if that's going to last as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun this week. I hope you love, I don't go to amusement parks, but this is going to be an amusement park ride. We're going to go up and we're going to go down. There's going to be a lot of screaming and shouting, not from me, but those people with the crayons. And the Hot Mess Express is honking its horn because it's heading down Pennsylvania Avenue. It's arriving at the Capitol. And we as a group are going to get through this. Thank you for staying positive. Thank you for staying motivated. The comments overnight were really incredible. Thank you for bringing us to 130,000 subscribers overnight. I asked you for that help, and you did. We are the first channel in the history of YouTube to really go to 130,000 subscribers in 100 days exactly. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, we're trying to aim for 150,000, which is just 20,000 more in a week from now. That's about 3,000 per day. I think we can do it. So please subscribe to this video, like and share, and you will join me hopefully in the next video coming up right after this one about hazard pay. It's going to be a great one. As always, stay motivated, stay informed, stay positive, and stay of LA for more.